morning, YouTube. Back again with another video just before we're heading out on a trip. We're leaving in a couple of days. Already got the bike all pretty much as ready as I can possibly get on it. Just wanted to go over some things that we've done and we've prepared for this trip. This is by far the longest trip we've taken. We've taken a 4 or 5 day trip up along the Blue Ridge Parkway. If you've seen some of my other videos, and went on up the Skyline Drive. About 3 or 4 or 5 days. But this time we're going to be taking her out west. I'm here in Georgia, and we are going to be going all the way across to the Grand Canyon, spending a couple of nights there at the Grand Canyon, and then we're going to head up north and go to Yellowstone and spend a couple of days up in Yellowstone. So just wanted to go over a couple of things, and you have to forget the car. It's about to drive by. So just want to go over a couple of things. We've done a lot of research online to kind of figure out what to expect, what to pack, what not to pack. Obviously, we have pretty limited space. We don't have a trailer, which was something that I've looked into. I'm on a forum on Facebook, Goldwing Riders Forum. Pretty much everybody's like, hey, get you for long trips like this, get you a trailer, which I can imagine would make things a whole lot easier as far as packing goes. But we think we've got pretty much everything we need. Hopefully we don't forget anything, but just to go over some things that I have done in preparation for this trip. So obviously I had to get her all nice and spiffy. For one, completely waxed the front of the bike, just hopefully make it a little bit easier to, maybe bugs won't stick so much on the front. We are planning on going to be driving through some rain, especially the day that we leave. We've got a hurricane that's coming up from Texas that's probably going to create a lot of rain on the first couple of legs of the trip. So I sprayed down the front of the windshield with Rain-X. It's the type of Rain-X that's specifically designed for plastic, and I sprayed it with a hose, and it seems to work really good. So I put a couple layers of that on the front. Also did that on the bike visors as well. So before this long trip, I also looked into getting a new seat, which there's nothing wrong with the seat that's on there. However, any more additional comfort would be great. But I forget the name of the seat that I was looking at, but it was going to be about $1,200. So we decided to go with these things. They're called Air Hawks. And rear. I've ridden around on the Airhawk a couple of times now, and it does make actually a pretty big difference. We went on about a 4-hour trip a couple weekends ago, and yeah, the good thing with these, I think, is you can move it around. So if you're sitting on it in one position and you get a little bit tired, you can actually move the Airhawk. You can either slide it up or slide it back, and your seating position will change completely and kind of take the pressure off certain spots on your inner thighs and on your butt. But so I have gotten brand new tires, Elite Dunlop 4s, I believe, which the new tires. The new tires was a bit of a story in and of itself. When I bought the bike, the previous owner evidently had rode it very gently and created kind of like a flat spot on the tires, which wasn't bad. The tread was still good, but once I put these new tires on, because it didn't have that flat area or flattish area on the tires, the handling is a million times better now, especially like slow speed turns, things like that. So really good investment on the new tires. Got those front and back. So one of the other things that I've had this bike for about a year now, and if anybody has had a 1500, you may notice something that's missing right here. I'm almost 6'5", and one of the biggest things that I had as far as using these highway pegs was I ended up having to bow my legs out a whole lot to get around what used to be a little air dam on the lower fairing here. And again, on the forums, the Goldwing forums that I was in, somebody had mentioned they just took it off, and so that's what I did. I just took it off, and it makes it so much more easier, so much more comfortable to utilize these back pegs or these front pegs up here in the front. Did that on both sides here. Now the only downside to that is, of course, there is a purpose for those, and that's to keep the really hot air from the engine from basically just blowing right back against your legs. But with it getting a little bit cooler now, and especially where we're going to be riding, I'm not worried about that at all. So just a tip, you can take these, if you're tall like me, you can take these guards off, and yeah, it doesn't look too bad, and it works perfectly fine. Should change the air filter, change the oil, change the rear diff oil as well, change the clutch fluid, brake fluid. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as getting it ready to go. Also put in new speakers. Which, let me tell you, if you thought getting to the air filter was difficult, try changing out these speakers. Basically, you got to take off the whole entire front end of the bike just to get to these speakers. You know, you would think the Honda, maybe they could have put like a screw here and a screw here, and you could just pop that off and you could change your speakers out super easy. Nope. Basically got to take off the whole entire front of the bike to get to the speakers. So a couple things from last year. We still have we'll have all our heated gear, which you can see. I've got a cable here for mine. We've got a cable back here for the wife. She's gonna have both pants and jacket and gloves. I will have just the gloves and a jacket. We bought this rear bag here, which is going to be immensely helpful. Basically, what's in this bag here is all of our cold weather riding gear. I've got all of our gloves in here. We've got all of our pants, our heated pants, heated jackets, our layers for our riding pants are in there, and we've still got quite a bit of room. We still got this pocket to fill up, that pocket there, and we've got another pocket up here that we can fill up. There's pockets all over this thing. I think I got this for maybe $90 off of Amazon. Over here in this compartment, it's packed pretty full. Got our riding pants, safety gear, safety vests, and then basically all of the tools and tools that you need. First aid kit, tire repair kit, air compressor, all that kind of good stuff. This side, it's got our rain gear in it, which we'll probably be wearing the first day, so pretty good bit of room left to go with this side. And in the back we have just a small suitcase that's back there, and still have some room back there as well. So we got room to put our shoes or extra pairs of shoes and things like that. I'm gonna have my GoPro 360 going on. This time I'm gonna make sure I'm recording correctly, because the last time I went to the Blue Ridge, I ended up recording the whole entire trip, all 4 days of it, and it was not set to 360. It was set to only point in one direction, which happened to be like up or something like that. So 4 days of footage of the sky, which didn't work out very well. So make sure that that's working properly. I'll also have the GoPro that I'm using here. I'll either have it mounted here on the front, or I'll have it mounted on my helmet. And I also did pick up a tire pressure monitoring system right here. Seems to work pretty good. Which for me, that was one of the biggest things for me, was watching the tires. I don't know if I'm just a little bit paranoid when it comes to the tires, but I always check them before we ride in the morning. But I'm always just in the back of my head the tires, because you really don't know unless it's too late, especially if there's like a slow leak or something like that. So I know people say don't trust the tire pressure monitoring systems completely, which I don't, but I still think it's a good piece of tech to have, just for peace of mind. The only other thing that I've got was this right here, which is I'll go ahead and turn this off. And this was just again a little bit of peace of mind, and it is super loud. Which is basically a alarm system, completely wireless. It's not wired into the bike itself. I just basically mounted it up underneath this. So it's just something that I know, peace of mind again, that if somebody comes out in the middle of the night and starts moving around the bike or anything like that, it'll at least go off and maybe scare them away, hopefully. But I think that's pretty much it. I'll probably put up on the screen right now what the first part of our journey is. I don't think that the first part of the journey is going to be too terribly exciting. Basically going up through Tennessee and then pretty much over, going through Kansas. And I think once we get into Colorado, which will be day 3, it'll probably start looking a little bit more pleasant. I think Kansas, from everything that everybody's told us, drive through Kansas is absolutely horribly boring. So we're gonna have to me and Leanne will have to have lots of things to talk about, or listen to an audio book or something through there. But I think once we get into Colorado, I think that's when it starts picking up as far as the scenery and whatnot goes. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking a video every single day. Probably won't until we get to the more majestic portions of the trip, the Grand Canyon. I think the drive from Grand Canyon up to Yellowstone is going to be really pretty as well. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing trip. It's right at 6,000 miles that we're planning on going, and yeah, we hope everything goes well. So we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.